So it's Friday afternoon at precisely 1:25 p.m. and I am home. This is a fantastic way to start the weekend.
When I never felt bad, come on, yeah.
So my first official week back at school has come to an end, and we did at our school a progressive entry. Basically, students were staggered in their arrival, 1 day per level. So Monday was dedicated to grade 7s, Tuesday the grade 8s, Wednesday the grade 9s, Thursday and Friday was split between the grade 10s and grade 11s because we are trying to respect social distancing restrictions and rules, and only half of the grade 10s and grade 11s are entering at a time, which means there's a group A of grade 10s and grade 11s and a group B. And the entire school schedule is now constructed on a 6-day cycle that repeats daily, meaning there's a day 1A, a day 1B, a day 2A, a day 2B. And I would like to say it's like that across most of the territory when it comes to English schools. I'm not too sure what's happening in French schools. I think they're doing the same thing because it's a government mandate. So let's just say that already I finish early on this particular day, day 1. So I finished even earlier because I finished my day at lunch with my grade 9s, and I didn't see my grade 9s today. I saw my grade 11s. So I was done at 11. The general impression that I got of my students over the last 3 days, because I have 2 grade 9 classes and 2 grade 11 classes, the general impression that I have is that they're still asleep. They're still trying to get used to the fact that after 6 months of being home, they are back at school. Let me be clear, teachers are also dealing with that. Don't get me wrong, I was trying to respect a certain routine and structure that was not abusing the fact that I was home in confinement, as was the rest of the province. But let's just say that waking up at 5 a.m. the last couple of days has been brutal. One thing also that has changed is that the principal made it clear that if we don't need to be in the building, we can leave. Teachers are expected to do some on-site presence, being at school, either working on work of a personal nature or planning or collaborating with other teachers. Now we're told you can leave. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't one of those teachers that was sticking at school until 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Maybe once upon a time, not anymore. Considering the fact that there are no extracurricular activities for now, what are we doing at school? Even remedial has to be rethought and replanned because we do not want to cross-contaminate the class bubbles. And speaking of bubbles, some students are pretty pissed off that they're not with their friends. And switching classes is not going to happen this year. At least not for the time being. I'm sure that some students are pretty pissed because they didn't get physics and chemistry and they ended up in my leadership class. And leadership class is also going to be entertaining because one big component of leadership is event planning. How can you plan events when you're not supposed to assemble? Otherwise, first week back was pretty good. I have lived through more chaotic back to schools, and this one was pretty tame, all things considered. If I compare my back to school last year and this year, they are very different. The stress, the concern, the questions that I have are very different. I mean, last year I was starting in a new school after spending 18 years of my career in one. This year, the questions are more along the lines of, am I allowed to remove my mask if I stay in the front of the class? And I know a lot of teachers want this to be business as usual. I overhear my colleagues planning out lessons and outlines and whatnot. And in my head, I just want to make sure my students are okay. I know that all teachers are thinking that, but I think we need to spend more time right now making sure that they're okay with their new routine and they are mentally okay with what's happening. They've left the comfort, the bubble of their home to a much bigger bubble. For some, it's creating a lot of anxiety. And I know that we have to play catch up, and I talk about it in my past video, but we're catching up to what and to whom. Shouldn't education and learning be individual? Why is that concept of catching up so important? I know, they have to go to college and there are exams. I get it. But isn't it okay for them to just like take that exam later, even if it means finishing after everyone else? There are a lot of existentialist questions that I'm asking. I realize that. And some of these questions require a societal change for them to actually happen. All in all, I'm very happy with the way my week went. I like the pace. I kind of like the idea of traveling from one classroom to another. Hallways are way quieter. They're definitely not as noisy. I mean, we'll definitely see it next week. I'm liking it. Call it weird. Like I like it. It's fun. Like I'm clocking in my 10,000 steps in a day. It's perfect. So on that lovely note, on this fantastic Friday afternoon, I know it's Labor Day for a lot of us. I don't know if there's anyone here following from a different country. I mean, have a lovely weekend. I know I'm going to have a lovely extended weekend, and I will see you very soon.